Okay, so let's keep doing the now is the right front side of our sweater. So for this I cast on the same stitches, which were 36. After I cast them on, now I'm going to do the edge, which remember that is in the other side is the rice knit, and remember that they were 8 rows in rice knit. So after you have your 8 rows of rice knit, like here, so now we are going to start with the buttonhole. For the buttons, of course. So the first left side, it was when we are going to put the buttons, and in the right front, in the right side, we are going to do the buttonhole. So what you first gotta do is pass through the first one, and for doing the buttonhole, what you gotta do is knit 2 stitches together, and then you do a loop, like passing through like this your needle in your yarn, and you keep knitting following the order. Here I got it to start doing our shell knit. So for don't miss the proportion of the stitches, I'm going to do the crossing like if I was in the 3rd stitch, because in the first 2 I did the buttonhole, so the 3rd stitch I'm going to do the crossing of our main knit, the shell one. So now keep doing. Okay, so now I'm going to keep normal. After the 3 stitches, you do the crossing, you knit them, those 3, 1, 2, 3, and you keep with your main knit. I meet you at the end. Here we're finishing the first row of our buttonhole. And the last one, you turn. And how do we do the second row of the buttonhole? You got to do them all how the knit asks you. So here is all in purl, and the 2 last ones of the sets of each set, you knit them together. And you finish the second row, and I meet you at the end. So here I'm almost finishing the second row, and I'm going to teach you how are you going to knit the left side of your buttonhole. So these 2 you have to knit them together because they were the one of the crossing loop, and this one, which was the loop for the buttonhole, you're going to knit it in purl. There you go. And you keep knitting the order, the last one, the last stitch, the border in knit normally, and you can see the hole for the buttonhole. And there you go, your first buttonhole. So now we keep knitting normally your shell knit until you reach your remember that you were knitting 64 rows from the edge to the top, so you got to keep knitting those 64 rows normally without decreasing or buttonholes or anything, but you got to do the buttonhole in the rows 21, 41 and 61. So then here we did the buttonhole in the row number 1. The next one will be 21, 41 and 61. I'm going to do it with you again in the row number 21, just to do another practice, and then the other ones you do it by yourself. So I meet you at the row 21. So meet you there. So here I just finished the 20th row, and I'm going to start with the row number 21, and I'm going to teach you again how to do the buttonhole. So first you pass through the first stitch. Here the order, the knit asked me to do the crossing of the shell knit. So you take 2 stitches and you knit them together, and then you do a loop passing your yarn, and then you knit one, like you keep following your order. Here I need to do the crossing, so it's what I'm going to do. So I meet you at the end of the row. So here I'm finishing my row number 21. I'm sorry, I'm not in the 21, I'm in the 22 now, at the end of the 22. So I'm going to knit how the knit asks me. So here is all in purl. So remember that the loop of the crossing for the buttonhole, you got to knit them in purl. Okay, let's turn, and sorry, and you can see the loop of our buttonhole, the loop, the hole of the buttonhole for your button. So now that we got our buttonhole of the 21 row, which it finishes in the 22, we are going to keep knitting until the 41. You make your another buttonhole just in the row 41. You keep knitting normally and I meet you at the 64th row. Here I did my 64th rows from the edge of the sweater to the top. So here, there you go with your 64 rows, and it's time to do our armhole of the right front. What are we going to decrease first is 3 stitches. So as I show you in the other video how to do the armhole, I'm going to do it again for you. So in this right front, we are just going to do the decreases in the pair rows. So this row is a 65, so with no decrease. So let's do the 65 row, and I meet you at the 66. So here is the 66th row, and we are going to start with our decreases. Okay, so remember, we are going to decrease first 3 decreases for the first row of the armhole. So even if the knitting asks you to do it in purl, remember that decreases you do them in knit, in normally. So we got our first decrease, second decrease, and third decrease. I'm going to do them together, these two stitches, because it's the one from the crossing, from the shell knit. Okay, so second decrease, after we did our 3 decreases, we have to keep knitting following the order, and I meet you in the other row, and I meet you at the 67. The 67, you are not going to do any decrease, so I meet you at the 68. So this is the third row of the decreases, which is the number 68. So here in the 68th row, we are just going to do our first decrease, so here we are just going to decrease 3, but we're going to start with our first, second decrease, and third decrease. And there you go, you keep knitting as it asks you your knit. Here I have to do it all in purl normally, and I meet you at the row number 69, which you gotta do is to knit all normal without decrease. So finish this one, do the next one without decrease, and I meet you at the other one. So this is our 6th row of the decreases. So just to remember what we've been doing, just to make it clear. So the 65, which I count them as first row of the decreases, all normal. The row 66, which was the second row of decreases, is when we did the 3 decreases. The row number 3, which is the row number 67, we knit all normal without decreases. The row number 4, which was 68, I decreased 3. The row number 69, which I count as 5, we did all normal, and then our 70 row, which is this one, which is the 6th of the decreases, we are going to do 2 decreases. There you go. So we pass through the first one and the first decrease. 1, 2. So there you go, use your 2 decreases. Here you finish your 6th row of the decreases of the right front for the armhole. So you finish this one. The other row, which be the number 7, you're going to knit it normally without decreases, and I meet you at the 8th row. There you go, we are in the 8th row of our decreases for the armhole for the right front of the sweater. Here is going to be our last decrease row. In this last one, we are just going to decrease just 1 stitch. So do it, 1, and there you go, the last decrease. Now what are you going to do? Just keep following with the order of your knit. So here I'm finishing the last row of decreases, which is the 8th row. And look, can you tell? You can see your armhole already. What are you going to do now? We gotta knit the neck, the right side of our round neck. So how are you going to do that? So these decreases, you are just going to do them in the odd rows. So according of our rows, this will be the 73 row, which is odd row. So we gotta do the decrease in this one, but I'm going to call them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that way they are is easier to understand the decreases of the neck. Okay, so let's start with our first row, the first decrease. So let's start decreasing 7 stitches. So if you remember the armhole, we did them in the right side, so the neck decreases we are going to do them in the left side, not my left side, if just the left side of the sweater. Hopefully I'm not confusing you more, but okay, let's start with the neck decreases. So we decrease 7 stitches. Okay, let's do the first one. Here, like the knitting is asking me to do the crossings, the main knit, the shell one. What I gotta do is not do any crossing, just do the decreases. So I need 1, pull over the one before, and first decrease, second decrease, third decrease, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 7th. Okay, we did our 7 decreases. What do we got to do? Finish what it asks you. The knits. Sorry, my dog is covering all my light again. It's like a eclipse of a dog. So after you finish this row, in the row number 2, you gotta knit all normally without decreases, so I meet you at the 3rd row. Very good. So this is our 3rd row of our decreases. Here we are going to decrease just 3 stitches. So first, second, and third. There you go, and it's ready. Now we finish this row with the following the order. The fourth row we don't do any decrease, and I meet you at the fifth row. So here I'm starting the fifth row of the neck decreases for the right front of the sweater. We pass through one. In this fifth row we are just going to do just 2 decreases. So 1 and 2. And there you go, and you keep following up. You finish your fifth row, and in the sixth row you're not going to do any decrease, and I meet you at the seventh row. So here I'm in the seventh row. In this row we are just going to decrease just 1 stitch and 1. There you go. So you finish this row. The number 8 you needed normally, no decreases, and I meet you at the 9th row. You're just going to decrease 1. In the row 10 you don't decrease. In the row 11 you decrease another 1, and in the row number 12 you need all normal. And I meet you at the 13th row, because there we are going to cast off our stitches. We are going to bind them off. So here we finish our decreases, and we gotta bind them now. But before bind them, we gotta knit all the rows until the 20th row. So remember that they are 7 more in normal without decreases. So remember that we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we are missing 7 rows more, and I meet you at the 20th row. So okay, I did my 7 more rows with no decrease or nothing, and we got to bind them off here. So the casting off is the same as the other side of the sweater, remember, and it's the same process as the decreases. I know that here we're supposed to knit in puddle, but the binds off, you gotta do them like knitting normally. I know that this sweater looks like so long, but the nice things require an extra effort. Don't forget. I think the idea of knit your own sweater it's so cool. It's so rewarding. You will see. And you are almost there. You are more than in the half of the way. So okay, we finish our right front of the sweater. Here is the neck, here is the armhole. And keep watching the next video.